Okay, welcome. This is M0YKS and welcome to the Shack, the amateur radio station in Yorkshire, Northern England. I'm just waiting for the International Space Station to pass over. I've got quite a good event coming up. It's going to be a contact with an astronaut, Kilo Delta 5 Delta X-Ray Bravo, that's Shannon Walker, and she's going to be operating with the call sign Echo India 1 ISS from the International Space Station. So I've got the school live on the screen. It's over in Ireland, and they're going to get on the air very shortly and ask a number of questions to the astronaut Shannon Walker, and she's going to be coming back and operating the downlink, which will be today. It will be 145800. So I've got my radio set up. It's the FT847 from Yaesu, and I've got my antenna tracking the ISS as we get the pass. So hopefully we'll hear some activity as it gets in range, and we'll hear the astronaut side of the QSO. We're not going to hear the school side, but we can work out what the questions are. So we'll see them, but we won't hear them, guys. So let's see what we can hear, and hopefully we'll get a bit of good reception. Yeah, so far nothing yet. It won't be long before we get a signal. A few more minutes as the ISS gets into range. We'll start hearing a few voices from Shannon on board. So a bit of information. The ISS has got onboard radio equipment, which is used for school contacts, sending SSTV images to amateur radio operators like myself. And obviously they've got an onboard repeater for anyone watching this video. I'm M0YKS. So hopefully we'll get a bit of activity coming through. You can hear the voice already.
We've got some interesting things going on with looking at vibrations in drops of fluid. Over. My favorite area in the ISS absolutely has to be the cupola, where I can look out and see the Earth. Over. Activities in my spare time. You know, I don't actually have a lot of spare time. I would say mostly just before I go to bed, I call my husband and talk to him for a few minutes. Over. The most interesting thing I see from the space station is how thin our atmosphere is. Over. Michelle, evidence is very easy to see when we look down on all the glaciers that are disappearing. Over. John, it takes a lot of years to become an astronaut. It takes a minimum of 2 years when you're first selected before you're eligible for space flight. And then for my first space flight, it was 3 more years of training. Over. Patrick, we get our energy from the sun. We've got huge solar arrays. Over. Sonia, it's just an unfortunate situation. You just have an itchy nose. There's not a darn thing you can do about it. Over. When I return home, I will miss being able to float around everywhere I go. Over. I would say the most difficult challenge was two things. One, learning the Russian language, and two, doing the training for spacewalks. Over. Tristan, the Earth is absolutely overwhelming when you see it from the first time from space, especially the sunrises and sunsets. Over. Sean, there's been a lot of useful things coming from space experiments, even going back to the Apollo days, starting with miniaturizing batteries, and think what we've done with small batteries. Everything from cordless drills to the batteries in your cell phones. Over. Shauna, we are not weak when we return from microgravity because we exercise every day. And in fact, on my last flight, I was stronger when I came back than before I left. Over. If there were a human mission to Mars, I would absolutely consider going. Over. Michelle, I think maybe one day, but certainly not with current technology. The distances are too far to get anywhere in a lifetime. Over. John, we exercise every day. We've got 3 exercise devices up here, a treadmill that we can run on an exercise bike, and then a machine that lets us do the equivalent of lifting weights. Over. Patrick, some people say that happens. I don't think it happens to me, and usually it happens to people they believe because of the fluid shifts of fluid going up into your head and giving you a stuffy nose. Over. Yes, while we're up here, we are able to communicate with family. We have email, we can make phone calls if the satellite hookups are right, and then about once a week we get a video conference with our family. Over. I was 4 years old when I decided I wanted to be an astronaut. That's when I saw people land on the moon the first time. Over. Decided I wanted to be an astronaut when I was 4 years old. That is when I saw humans land on the moon. Over. Thank you. You were coming in very broken, but I can hear the applause. Thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it very much. Over.
So yeah, I think that could be it, guys. That were a decent pass. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, those guys rattled off a number of questions. I think the timing for the stream from the school was a bit delayed in respect to the actual reception from the space station, but that was great. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it myself. I'm just playing around in the shack as usual, so if you like this kind of thing, hit the subscribe button. I've got lots of space station videos and satellite operations, as well as operating HF around the world. So we'll catch you again, and thanks very much for joining me live and direct on the International Space Station Schools Contact with Echo India 1 ISS, and a great job that was. So congratulations all these school kids. If you're watching on the playback, hope you get your amateur radio licenses one day. I look forward to speaking to some of you. 73 from the shack of Mike Zero Yankee Kilo Sierra in Yorkshire, England, now off and clear. And we'll catch you again. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.